Hello, my name's Ryan.
My name is Maxence.
And my name is Lucio.
And today we're gonna conduct the interview with the key account manager at BMW.
And then we'll have an analysis video right after the interview for our analysis that our group came up with.
Thank you for listening.
So, hi Andreas. Could you briefly introduce yourself and your role as a key account manager at BMW and describe the cultural diversity within your team?
Yes, okay, my name is Andreas Wald, 55 years old, and I've been with BMW for 28 years, and I currently look after cities like Mainz, Wiesbaden, Bad Homburg, and Saarbrücken area. The CAM looks after all major customers or the corporations in a definite area that have a fleet of more than 15 vehicles and order more than 5 new vehicle cars per year. The cultural diversity consists in working with my customer managers who come from different cultures to draw up the contracts, conditions, and other framework conditions between BMW and the respective customer corporation.
Great, sounds good. Okay, so diving into more of the communication aspect, as a key account manager, how do you adapt your communication style and motivation strategies to effectively manage a team with different and diverse cultural backgrounds?
Okay. Different cultures also require different communication styles and motivational strategies. Communication is about recognizing the nature or character of the person you're talking to and conducting the communication in a way that is both substantive and emotional, so that the other person feels comfortable and trust it's built up over the course of the conversation. This primarily includes ensuring that the topics communicated or agreed on are kept to fulfilled in a timely manner. Respectful personal interactions.
No worries.
Respectful personal interactions is also an essential prerequisite for trust. If there is trust between the people talking, human and professional, then there is also the authority to motivate the individual people using individual methods. Preferences of individual people talking, e.g. money, free time, praise, participation in events, and so on. Accordingly, people are motivated according to their preferences.
Awesome. Thank you. So now I'm going to talk about some of the difficulties and some of the outcomes. We'll start with the difficulties. What are some of the key challenges that you face when you manage a cultural diverse team, and how do you address those difficulties to ensure some smooth collaboration?
Okay, the challenges lie in the fact that all people are very different, and there are also people who feel that they are better than the other person, both professionally and personally, and do not want a trusting working relationship. This may be because you personally want to replace a person as a manager, or because you personally prefer other products in a business relationship, and those provoke a failure of the discussion. The challenges, therefore, lie in when personal or private interests take precedence over the interests of the company, and people want to enforce this under false pretenses. This must then be recognized, and the appropriate measures, personal interview, transfer, termination, initiated, and the employers or interviews disciplinate.
Awesome. Finally, for my last question here, I have what are some of the benefits or satisfactions that cultural diversity brings to your team's performance or creativity?
Okay. Cultural diversity always has the advantage that all issues or problems are considered from different cultures, perspectives, experiences, and priorities. The best solutions and results can therefore always be achieved in a fair discussions. New aspects or ideas usually arise in discussions, which can then lead to an even better result. Cultural diversity is therefore the basis for the best results when dealing with one another openly, honestly, and fairly.
Awesome, thank you. And now for the fifth and final question, I'm going to shift to more manager side. In your experience, how important are cultural awareness and skills for a manager in overcoming these challenges and maximizing the team's potential?
Your own cultural experience and a good knowledge of individual cultures are of course a great advantage in order to make the best possible use of culture diversity in the company or with conversations partners. The existing potential of the team as well as their motivation can thus be put to good use for the company. But here too, it depends on how the employers or conversation partners receive and perceive this. Here too, there are people who do not wish you any good and work against you. Then your own experience and cultural awareness are of no use. My conclusion, cultural diversity can be the basis of a success if everyone involved wants it and it's prepared to adapt other people individually without prejudices towards other people and cultures.
Awesome. Well, that was all the questions. So
Yes.
we want to thank you for coming onto this, taking time out of your busy schedule, and answering our questions. So thank you.
No problem.
Thank you so much. So, following this interview, we will now analyze the role of cultural skills in the managerial role of Andreas Wald using models like Hofstede's dimensions, Trompelnar's 7 dimensions, and cultural intelligence. We will evaluate how Andreas handles the challenges of cultural diversity and maximizes its potential. Now, let's start with Hofstede's cultural dimensions. Firstly, we see the importance of individualism versus collectivism. Andreas emphasizes adapting his communication style and motivational strategies, which reflects the need to bridge individualistic and collectivist cultures. For example, in collectivist settings, he focuses on building trust and fostering group harmony. Secondly, power distance plays a crucial role. Andreas works with diverse stakeholders, some of whom may expect hierarchical deference, while others value equality in decision making. His approach of ensuring respectful personal interaction caters to both high and low power distance cultures. Lastly, uncertainty avoidance is evident when Andreas deals with conflicts caused by personal interests interfering with company goals. His approach to recognizing these issues and addressing them with clarity and fairness aligns well with cultures that prioritize structure and adherence to rules. These dimensions highlight how Andreas effectively balances different cultural preferences in his managerial role.
So now that we have heard about Hofstede's model, we're going to build off that and analyze Andreas' approach using Trompelnar's 7 dimensions. And so one of the key dimensions that we saw was universalism versus particularism, which we saw Andreas value meeting commitments and fulfilling agreements, which reflected a universalistic perspective. However, his ability to adapt communication based on individuals' preferences shows his flexibility towards particularistic tendencies. The next dimension that we saw was neutral versus effective. This one became very significant for us as we saw Andreas blend substantive and emotional communications to build trust. This was critical for building neutral cultures, which values logic, effective cultures, and prioritize emotional connections. Finally, one of the last dimensions that we saw was achievement versus ascription, which is evident in how Andreas handles conflict with individuals who misuse authority or maybe prioritize personal interests. His focus on fairness ensures alignment with organizational goals, addressing challenges posed by ascriptive cultures.
Now turning to cultural intelligence. Andreas demonstrates high CQ through his ability to adapt to cultural differences. His CQ knowledge stems from his long experience with diverse teams, enabling him to understand cultural preferences. His CQ strategy involves tailoring motivational techniques to individual needs, and his CQ action reflects this understanding in practice, such as using praise or rewards to motivate employees. These models show how Andreas bridges cultural gaps to maintain trust and collaboration. Now for our critical conclusion. A common standpoint is that cultural skills are essential for managers like Andreas in 3 key areas. The first being building trust. Andreas emphasizes respectful interactions which help create an inclusive environment where diverse stakeholders feel valued. Number 2, resolving conflicts. By recognizing personal biases or conflicts of interest, Andreas ensures alignment with professional goals and values. Number 3, maximizing team potential. Leveraging diverse perspectives fosters creativity and leads to optimal results, as Andreas mentions in his experience. However, we must also consider the critical challenges that Andreas faces. While cultural skills are invaluable, they are not always sufficient. As Andreas notes, some individuals may resist collaboration or act with ulterior motives. In such cases, stricter measures like disciplinary actions become necessary. To conclude, Andreas' approach demonstrates that cultural diversity can be a strength when managers are culturally aware and adaptable. However, the success of cultural management depends on the willingness of all parties to engage openly and respectfully. Managers must also combine cultural skills with clear organizational policies to overcome resistance and achieve their goals. Thanks for watching.